Hi guys, welcome back to our messy house. Today we have the week off for school. This is our first day off of school and it's not raining outside, which is pretty rare for where we live, but it is in the low 30s. So our rule is if it's not raining, we try to get outside and move our bodies and go for a walk. The kids wanted to take their little stuffed animals to the park, and then we are gonna go home and do a declutter. Our eyes are all watering, I know, and our noses. It hasn't been this cold yet. This is like the coldest it's been. But then we're gonna go home and we're gonna do a declutter. We're hopefully getting to the toys and a couple other things today, but mostly the kids' bedroom and their toys. So we're doing our November toy reset. If you haven't seen my last video, go watch it. I chatted about how I like to do a real deep intentional declutter in the month of November before we bring in any new inventory in December. So I hope you follow us along. We're gonna run around here and get some fresh air, and then I'm going to walk the kids home and we'll get started. See you in a minute. November is my reset month. It's when I take a breath before Christmas, look around and make sure our space actually feels good, not just full. Because before we bring anything new into this house, before the wrapping paper, before the gifts, before the excitement, I want to make sure everything we already have has a home, has a purpose, and is still serving our family. This isn't just throw everything in a bin and hope for the best. This is slow, intentional, thoughtful. We're looking in every corner, every basket, every shelf, and bringing everything into the light. I want to see what's actually being played with and what's just taking up emotional, mental, and physical space. I love doing this before December because it gives me the chance to really envision what the kids might actually enjoy next, what seasons of play they're moving into, and find a place for those future toys before we purchase anything. The goal isn't just to clear out the old, the goal's to create space with intention. If I think the kids might get a marble run or a pretend play set, I want to know exactly where that will live. Not on the floor, not crammed into a closet, but into a spot that's ready for it, made for it. When everything has a home, it's easier for the kids to engage and easier for us to maintain. So here's the process I use. I walk around the whole house and I collect every toy from the living room, the kids' room, even the random ones hiding under the couch. We all have those. If it belongs to a tiny human or, quite honestly, my cat, it goes into the pile. And then I set my mindset. I ask, is this still sparking imagination? Is it still used? Does it still serve? Kids go through phases, and what was magical 6 months ago might not be doing anything now. So I sort with intention. I make 4 piles. Keep, toys that still inspire play. Rehome, items that could bless another family. Recycle, broken beyond repair. Maybe, things we need to observe for a few more weeks. And then we create dedicated homes before anything goes back and decide where it lives. If it doesn't have a place, it's not staying. And then my biggest tip is to leave space. This part is so important. I intentionally leave open shelves, open baskets, and open floor space for future gifts. We're not decluttering just to declutter. We're creating margin for what's coming. I also want to say this. The toys we choose to keep might look vastly different from what your family keeps, and that's okay. This process isn't about matching someone else's aesthetic or someone else's idea of minimalism. It's about paying attention to what actually sparks imagination for your children. For us, after going through every corner of the house, we ended up keeping our foam shapes, the marble run, our Magnatiles, harmonicas, and even a handful of plastic toys. Yes, plastic toys. The supposed enemy of all people, all minimalist. Because I've found there are certain ones that do invite creativity without overstimulation or overwhelm. And I'm totally cool with that. The only rule I really hold on to is it open-ended? If a toy doesn't tell my child how to play with it, it's probably a good fit. I just make sure that I keep those noise-making toys, including the harmonicas, in a separate basket so that if it's a day that we're all overwhelmed or we need a moment, we can put that basket up, the noise-making basket, the basket that might overstimulate someone. And then we kept our favorite little matchbox mice, and a few special stuffed animals for each kid. And my dollhouse from when I was little, a treasure that keeps being rediscovered in new ways with different kids. Every family's keep pile is going to look differently, and honestly, it should. What matters is that the toys you hold on to are the ones that still serve, still inspire, and still feel right for your home. All right, we decided, and the kids and I have chatted about it. We've played with the toys for a couple days, and we've decided to keep the rubber snakes, even though they're falling apart a little bit. They're very loved. I bought them last year for their stockings. They were $1 at Walmart a piece. I might just have to buy a couple new ones this year, but these rubber snakes are loved apparently, so they are staying. And then we have voted that this kit stays. The reason why I was a little leery about it's not because they don't play with it, but it's because they need help with it every single time. And so it's not an independent play, and it requires my husband or myself to build something with them. And it's also not as open-ended in that way because we have to either be super creative, my husband or myself, or follow one of the things. So it's not the child being creative, and I try to steer away from that. Even with like Legos, I don't believe that like this age, I have a 6 and 4-year-old, should be playing with the Legos with instructions. Following instructions is a great skill. Don't get me wrong, I totally think Legos are awesome, but I do think that there's something really important right now in this developmental stage and just in the way our world works right now, in learning to be creative for yourself and learning how to problem solve and build for yourself and thinking those things through while your brain is developing. And so this is a fun toy to play with the kids with, but I was like, well, they can't use it by themselves. It's something that like gets put away in the game closet until an adult can help them, but they want to keep it, and that's totally fine. We can do that. So we're going to keep these items, but again, we're just going to get rid of, we're going to gift these to someone for Christmas. It's sad, but we are done with the animals. I have held on to them many a declutters, and the kids just have outgrown them, and that truly makes me very sad. But they're done with these. And then we have Magnatiles, so we don't really need these, and they continue to be a little difficult and break a lot because they're antique. And there's motors that come with them, which is super cool. We're going to add motors to our Magnatiles and our marble runs this year, so we don't need to keep them just based solely off of the motors. And then these little Santas I'm regifting back to my mom. She just let them borrow them for a little while. So then we have all of these things. Like I said, this is the there's a mess behind me on the table. We're getting ready for our next term of school, but this is the KiwiCo air play, and I thought it was gonna be the coolest thing ever. I purchased it from them. I love KiwiCo, but the airflow is not strong enough to blow up even the smallest of things, like a little handkerchief or foam ball or a little piece of paper. So the design and the thought don't really match because it doesn't work properly. It's just not strong. It's not strong enough to throw anything out the top like you would see in a traditional whatever, like museum one. So there's just not, my husband and I rebuilt one that was even stronger than this. And so I just think that it was a little bit of a design flaw. And so we've played with it a bunch, but it doesn't get played with as much as it would if it worked properly. And it hasn't been pulled out for a while. So this is going to go in a garage bin just to make sure that we're done with it. And then it'll be gifted to someone. But yeah, that's the toys that we are getting rid of and then decided to keep after a couple days. It's been like a week since I filmed that declutter, and these are the ones that have been nominated to keep. So